I know Antonio's got some good tips on contracts, setting up letters of intent, joint venture contracts, and how to set up relationships with partners so we don't run into trouble during the term and during the partnership. So what's one thing we can give people, a little nugget we can leave people with on this little intro call today, Antonio?
The nugget is, from a legal perspective, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So you hope to never have to look at this joint venture agreement ever again. But if you do, you want to know that you're covered, that you're protected. And I've seen many clients who, they didn't think too much about their joint venture agreement, structuring it. Yeah, we'll just, we write it on a napkin. We've been buddies for a long time. And then when hit the fan, my client was pretty damn happy that there was an exit clause in his agreement. He was pretty damn happy that there was something in his agreement that said what happened when there's a cash call.
Yes.
Right? The contingency fund. So you always want to have an exit strategy. An exit strategy is just, every investor wants to know, I'm giving you my money. What's going to happen to it? What are my expected returns? What's your track record? And when am I going to get that money back? Right? And so you want to have, first of all, when it comes to cash calls and contingency funds, which is, basically you set up your joint venture, the appropriate funds have been allocated. Later on, you might need money beyond what's in that reserve fund. The roof goes, a hot water tank bursts, right? And, when you're talking about a single family house, this might not be a big deal, but when you're talking about a, 20 unit multifamily building, something like that, these costs run up, right? So I had one client, for example, he wasn't my client, it was the other side. And he led with the pitch of, he was the active partner, my client was the money partner, and he would lead with the pitch of, you will never have a cash call with me. Don't worry about it, no problem. That was his number one selling pitch. And, never is a very long time. Things happen, and you may not have the deep pockets that you think you had. So what happened was this person asked for the money. Typically in these situations, you'll have, say it's a 50-50 deal, new 10,000 thing comes up out of left field, you're going to split that cash thing 50-50. Well, this was more like 300,000, and the money partner had the 150, but this guy who was a great salesman, he didn't have that 150. So, but luckily there was a clause in the agreement that says, well, if you don't have this, the money partner can pay that part, but you're going to lose that percentage, whatever percentage of it of the deal it is, you're going to lose that percentage. So your percentage gets
equity.
Reduced. Yeah, in equity.
So his equity was reduced by the proportion that the money
exactly
put in.
Exactly. Yeah. And a lot of times these clauses also attached to that, you can attach a penalty. So, your equity, not only does your equity get reduced for being stupid, you're also going to get a penalty just kind of for putting us in the situation. But what ended up happening was the deal did go through. They had around 9% free cash flow. They also had a great, last 10 years has been great for the Ontario market. So great cash on cash return. And, it could have all gone down the toilet if that clause wasn't there. So, clauses protect you. They can also mean that, deals end up going through. So a lot of people call lawyers deal killers, but, you want to have a lawyer who's a deal maker, but also, protects you.
Yeah. And I think that this is the important stuff. That's, no offense, Antonio, is not sexy, but then everybody overlooks, right? It's all about, okay, I want to raise the money and do this deal, but, you don't put the pieces in place. And Andrew and I are guilty of it. We've done joint ventures and, we're 50-50 on it. And we basically did the napkin thing, but, it's good that we're friends and if stuff happens, we deal with it. But if you're raising money all the time and people you don't know, and you're not seeing them every day and they're not friends, like, wow, man, that's trouble.
And it's also just a great sales thing, having a lawyer on your side that understands real estate and does it himself. whether it's myself or any other lawyer, but just being able to say that, like, your lawyer understands what's going on, and just being able to say, look, we put this clause in there for the benefit of both of us, right? Because, between a few friends, sure, whatever, we still need it on paper, but tend to not have it on paper. But when you're looking to raise money on a great scale, on a large scale, investors love to see when you really got your ducks in a row. And, it's all about win-win. And that applies to the deal at the end of the day. And that applies to, the agreement. And if people see that there's win-win in the agreement and that it protects both sides, then they're all the more willing to trust you.
Absolutely. Even if you're starting and you may not be a professional money raiser, but if you got your ducks in a row, like you said, and your contract is nice and neat, and you got the proper representation, it just positions you even more as an expert. And the people are happy, they'll come back and they'll do more joint ventures with you. So it's an investment in your own business. So, okay, so we're going to cover this and a whole bunch of other stuff on the masterclass. Andrew's going to go through the full system he uses, and it's going to be a good one. And it will be recorded if you can't make the day and time on Saturday mornings. I know it's a pain for a lot of people. It's going to be recorded. We're going to get it to you usually within 24 hours. So you can sit back, relax, take in all the information at your own pace. And people love that recording. Anyway,